Good evening. Welcome. My name is Monty Martin, and this is the Fate of Drakkenheim. This is our weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign with the Dungeon Dudes, and I am running the game this evening as Dungeon Master.
And my name is Kelly McLaughlin, playing Wilhelm Wolfsbane, or Wilhelm von Kessel, the human swashbuckler rogue. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Rudy Whitaker, the Shifter Eldritch Knight.
And Joel Gorman playing Wrath, the Aasimar Warlock.
Thank you for joining us again as we embark on Season 3 of our Drakkenheim campaign. If you are just joining in for the very first time, you have a lot of catching up to do. As this new season of our show is a direct continuation of both Seasons 1 and Seasons 2, Dungeons of Drakkenheim and Shadows of Drakkenheim, where our player characters, Jill, Kelly, and Joe, will be playing both their characters from the previous two seasons in varying combinations. So if you haven't checked out the previous two seasons, I actually highly recommend you go back, give those a watch. But we'll do our best if you do want to dive in now to bring you up to speed on the story so far. But with all that, you can also check out all of our other videos over on YouTube at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And you can join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. for the time being at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube or check us out as an audio-only podcast on your favorite podcasting platforms.
So with that, let us dive in to the fate of Drakkenheim.
Drakkenheim is no more. The devastation which fell upon that accursed place left a kingdom in ruin. Now, horrors lurking in the haze grow ever more great and terrible, while simmering tensions between rival factions boil over into outright war. The power of monarchs, mages, and priests hangs in the balance. 6 unlikely heroes join forces to confront the coming chaos. They shall decide, once and for all, the fate of Drakkenheim.
Welcome back to Drakkenheim. The story thus far. Through a winding series of adventures, 2 groups of heroes, the Dusk Wardens and Drakkenforce, have come together here on the outskirts of the cursed city of Drakkenheim. Now, together, they enact the plan to save the city and perhaps even the world itself. After the Drakkenheim is in a state of disarray. Having been abandoned by the Hooded Lanterns and their soldiers several months ago during a catastrophic rise of rattling hordes through the city streets, though the heroes were so close to claiming Castle Draken, the Hooded Lanterns and their forces have been scouting the ruins of the city, looking for a new inroads to find an opportunity back in. Meanwhile, through the discoveries of both Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto, as well as Rudy, Wilhelm, and Wrath, our heroes have discovered the apocalyptic fate awaiting them as the threat of delirium grows deep within the crater. Caught between the bubbling war as the Illyrian army led by the Silver Order marches towards Drakkenheim, our heroes have come together with a desperate plan to try to defend the city and find a way forward. in a great meeting that was held between our heroes and the leaders of the Hooded Lanterns, the Amethyst Academy, it was decided that they would try to crown a new king of Westamar once again. And this king would be none other than Wilhelm Wolfsbane, actually Wilhelm von Kessel. But many obstacles lie in your path, as Elias Drexel, the gruff, bearded commander of the former Lord Commander of the Hooded Lanterns, now acting as lieutenant to the new Lord Commander Veosenya, outlines that many things will have to be done to get Wilhelm on the throne of Drakkenheim. First of which is actually getting into Castle Draken again. No small task, as the castle, though Drakkenforce briefly stormed it, it is now once again a haven for monsters under the control of no one. Though the father of Veosenya still is trapped within, barely containing the powers that bubble underneath the castle. Meanwhile, if Wilhelm is to be crowned in Castle Draken to fully take control of the power of the throne of Castle Draken, as well as the crown of Westamar itself, our heroes will need the seals of Westamar brought together in one place, and the council assigned once more. Now, previously, our heroes in Drakkenforce did assemble all of these artifacts. However, one of these pieces is now no longer in your hands. The High Flamekeeper's phylactery, or the phylactery of St. Vitruvio, as this was entrusted to Lucretia Matthias following the debacle in Castle Draken. Similarly, Eldrick Runeweaver does currently possess the inscrutable staff of the Amethyst Academy, but fortunately, he's on your side in all this. Thus, with the need to bring all these artifacts together in one place, it has been decided that Drakkenforce will go forth to treat with Lucretia Matthias, and hopefully get her to give that back. But we'll come to that in just a little while. For first we go to Camp Dawn, where another plan is in motion. If Castle Draken is to be invaded once again, some staging ground in the city will be needed. And through these discussions, an objective has been pinpointed, as the former barracks of the Hooded Lanterns, abandoned when the city was overrun, still is there for the taking once more. So as we venture into Camp Dawn, in the command tent, Elias Drexel stands with Wilhelm, Rudy, and Wrath. How are our three heroes looking?
Wilhelm is exhausted. It's been a very long road to get here, and I think that Wilhelm, I feel like it's only been days since he was in his home of Kesselholm, where he had to deal with what had happened there. And then coming straight to Drakkenheim to be told that he needs to take the throne as soon as possible. The weight on Wilhelm's shoulders is very heavy in this moment. And he's doing his best to remain poised and confident. But the weight is getting to him, and he hasn't been sleeping well these past few days as he tries to come to terms with the position of a leader that he hopes he's suited for.
Well, having recently leveled up to level 10, on that note, what did you gain from getting to level 10 with Wilhelm?
Wilhelm has become a very inspiring leader. Or at least he hopes to be. So
His
I
words.
took the feat. Yeah. I took the feat inspiring leader because I feel like in the coming times, Wilhelm's going to be giving a lot of speeches to rally the troops and rally his friends and comrades to his side. So I thought inspiring leader was a good pickup.
Rudy.
So Rudy she's feeling a bit heavy. Like there's a lot of tension in the air. Not tension between the characters, but tension as in they're on to their next part of their journey, and it's going to be a big one. She knows that there's going to be a lot at stake. She's kind of missing her family right now. Hasn't spoken to them in a bit and knows that with all that's coming, she doesn't know when the next chance is that she's going to see them again. But she is prepared to help Wilhelm shoulder this burden and be there by his side as we take the next step to get him towards his rightful place on the throne. She's also hungry. She's like ready for a good meal, to sit down and just hang out with the hooded lanterns and find out kind of what their journey's been like as well, and to make some friends while she's here. Yeah.
And Wrath?
Wrath is staring off into the distance, which is the only place he knows how to look. It's this, he always seeks the knowledge that Bruce gives him. And now that he's been confronted with so much, it's starting to dawn on him, the gravity. But there's a smile on his face. It's quite peaceful. This is nice. And he's stroking the cat, like he forgets that he's not holding Bruce, and so he's just petting the air for a moment, and then he sort of suddenly realizes that Bruce is over eating table scraps, and then just sort of snaps back in and sort of becomes another person in the room.
Nice. Well, the three of you are gathered in the command tent of Camp Dawn. This makeshift encampment, surrounded by a high wooden palisade wall with rows upon rows of canvas tents, surrounding a sort of central makeshift courtyard where the command tent lies. Here, in front of a large table, are all manner of maps of Drakkenheim, of Westamar, of various buildings in the city, even maps of Castle Draken. And Elias Drexel paces about with his long brown hair and scraggly beard, thick, scraggy beard, always with this dour look on his face and a furrowed brow. And he looks up at Wilhelm and he says, "The Lord Commander and Paludo and their friend Sebastian have gone off to make a deal with Lucretia Matthias over the last of the badges. But you're going to have some decisions to make very soon, Wilhelm. You're going to have to decide who is going to remain on the council and who you're going to nominate to fill the other the positions."
It's a big decision, Elias, and I've been thinking about this, and when do I need to make these decisions? It's a large decision to make, and I'm wondering if you would have any guidance for me on how I might. I know Rudy and I know Wrath, and you and I have now fought together side by side in battle, and so I know you, and I would like to say I know River as well, but there are other people involved here that I am still getting to know, and I do not yet know where their loyalties lie. or how strong they are in situations, and I need to evaluate that before I go electing who's going to hold the badges of Westamar.
It is a significant decision. Let me break it down for you. There are 6 posts on the small council of Westamar. The Lord Commander, the Steward, the Spymaster, the Chancellor, the Archmage, and the High Flamekeeper. Now, traditionally, the Academy Directorate appoints their representative as the Archmage. This is not a position that you will get to choose. And traditionally, as well, the Divine Matriarch in Lumen appoints the High Flamekeeper. The situation being what it is, we might have to make do with a temporary assignment. As for the others, the other 4 positions, the Lord Commander is currently been given to Veo Senya. This is a bit of an unorthodox choice, as Veo, though a capable warrior, is not a commander, and the role of Lord Commander is that of the Supreme General of all of the forces of Westamar. While Veo is a capable warrior, and I know that it was my position, I worry that long term, I don't know if she has the mind for strategy.
Well, it's my understanding that the Lord Commander's position, since it's fallen to Veo Senya, it seems the Hooded Lanterns have lost their foothold in the city. And I'm pretty sure the budget for food has gone up, while efforts to make a stand and regain our footing in the city has been non-existent.
I'll leave the decision ultimately in your hands. There are many who could fulfill the position. The Steward is another important role. Originally, this was actually held by Veo's father, and we had given some temporary assignments previously. The Steward is responsible for managing both your household and many other domestic affairs of state. You should choose someone who you trust very intimately, and someone who has a good handle on logistics, organization, and who you would trust with your most personal and private matters. The Spymaster is your eyes and ears in the world at large. I don't know what happened to our last Spymaster, and I don't know how the Queen of Thieves came into possession of the Spymaster's signet, but fortunately we do have it back. Whoever your Spymaster is someone who you will want to control your information for you and get you all the information that you will need about both your enemies and your allies. Finally, there is your Chancellor. This is someone who will be your representative in affairs with the other nations of the continent. Caspia and Illyria, but also the Vales, the Free City, and other nations of faraway lands. You'll want someone who is a good diplomat here. Now, you might be tempted, Wilhelm, to choose people that you know for these positions. And in the short term, it might behoove you to make a provisional assignment just so that we can get you on the throne. But in the future, you may want to consider very carefully the dukes and duchesses of Westamar at large for these positions, as assigning a powerful vassal of the kingdom to one of these roles can be a good way of securing their loyalty and their military. For now, I leave it up to you to decide. Veo, Sebastian, and Pluto have gone to make sure that we have access, at least, to the High Flamekeeper's phylactery. What they're going to do, I don't know. We'll see.
Very well, this is a lot to think about, but Is there anything that we can do in the interim to help with the situation?
Well, quite simply, we need to act. The Illyrians are getting close. And Camp Dawn, to be perfectly honest, is indefensible against an army. If we're going to get to Castle Draken, and we're going to use the castle for anything, we need to get the barracks back.
The way I see it, this should have been the first order of business as soon as it was lost. I think we need a foothold here in the city. If I have a say in this, I would say that that's one of the most important things we need right now. It's my understanding the city is overrun with these rat creatures. I think I met them in Dransmond. Wrath has some intimate experience with them. So
I am one with the rat folk.
Yes, he is. It was terrifying.
Well, our ranks have been recently bolstered by these steel fangs that you've recruited. We definitely have the manpower. We could launch an assault and go for it.
I think that's a good move. Rudy, Wrath, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, we're here. We need to get, I guess, the primary thing is getting to the castle.
Without the right preparations, we're not going to be able to make our way to the castle, let alone find out if we can take it on. I say this gives us a chance to build our forces, build our area, and get a good scope of what are the monsters like in Drakkenheim.
Rudy, you were part of the Octenwald Irregulars, weren't you?
Time ago, yes. It's been a while.
Well, if you can replicate some of your previous successes from the Civil War, I think taking the garrison should be no problem for you. The Lord Commander has given me the authority to dispatch the troops as needed. Do you think that this is something that you can take on?
I don't see why not. If we have our forces, as long as our intel is correct, maybe we get some scouts out there and make sure we got the right information. As long as what I'm hearing is correct, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to without, a little bit of a fight, but with success.
Well, very well. Let me tell you about the situation then. If you see here on the map of Drakkenheim, there's two strong points that we have to look at. First and foremost, right here on the map, he points. This is where the garrison is. It's a fortified station inside the city. 4 towers, garrison keep, strong gatehouse. We had to abandon it hastily when ratlings burrowed up in the middle of the courtyard in the midst of one of our major operations as we were attacking the Queen of Thieves' stronghold. Most of our forces fled. We had to leave most of our materials there. So there's tons of weaponry, resources, explosives, gold. Lots of our provisions are still there, and supplies, things that we had stored securely. At this point, who knows if the ratlings have devoured it or not. Getting there, though, is a challenge because of Shepherd's Gate, which is here. Now, when we fled the city, I kept the skeleton crew at Shepherd's Gate. They held the gate as long as they could so that the rest of my men could evacuate and get out. They held it as long as they could. And the soldiers that I left there to hold it never made it back. Since then, we have scouted the area. Something has happened to the men that I left behind at Shepherd's Gate. They're still manning the walls, but they shoot anyone that comes near.
And they still look like the men. I've seen some strange things that the magic around the city's done, in our journey. Do they still look like themselves?
The last scout report that I have said that it looked like their flesh was rotting off. And there's a mountain of corpses filling the gate.
Well, that sounds bad.
We do have some scouts in the city that looked at the garrison itself, and they said that it looks like the Ratlings have not occupied the garrison. They have been able to get inside, and it looks like the Ratlings' burrow has flooded the interior courtyard. There's a huge pool of contaminated water in the center of the courtyard of the garrison. We could drain it, but we don't know if there's any other creatures that are in the garrison itself.
So then it sounds like we need to get into the garrison, rid it of any monsters. After fighting our way through the gate, it sounds like at this point, Elias, those men are lost, and we will do what we must in order to get past that gate.
The other thing we got to think about is, of course, with the contaminated water, we have to make sure it's a sustainable place to hold in the city. If we can't clear it out in due time, well, there's no point in us taking it over.
Indeed. This here is the map of the garrison itself. As you can see, it is the fortress here has the main keep with the commander's quarters, the front gate, the armory tower, and the 2 side bastions. There is a rear gate and a front gate as well. The Ratlings burrowed in somewhere around here, where the tree is in the center courtyard.
Once we've rid it of monsters, how are you proposing we drain the courtyard?
Shovels and pickaxes. The only thing that we can hope for, and this is the key thing, beneath the keep are the stockades. When several years ago, we discovered that the stockades, the prisons below, were secure. They're sufficiently far enough underground that the haze has not crept in there yet. And so we've been able to use it as a place to rest and station soldiers long term. Now, when my men evacuated, we made sure to seal it off, so hopefully it stayed that way. But that's the biggest problem, because if it's changed, then, well, there's very little point in holding it.
So unless it's the secured area, there ain't no point in keeping this.
No, because my soldiers, they need that space to camp out. It's what makes it a strategic location in the city. It allows us to actually stay in the city rather than having to retreat every night to avoid the haze and contamination.
Elias, you spent some time at this barracks. Rule number 27, there's always more than one way in or out. Besides the 2 main entrances, are there any ways into the barracks that we could exploit if we're trying to be stealthy in our approach?
So you're asking if we built our prison system with secret doors so prisoners who were kept there could find an escape route?
I'm just asking if there were any exploitable weaknesses that you've perhaps discovered in the time since then.
Well, I'll tell you. We bricked them up.
I don't know if that's up to code. There's some fire safety hazards with doing that.
There were some secret passages that connected the prison system, one of the cells did have a secret passage that led into the sewers, but we did seal it and brick it up years ago to make sure that that wouldn't be used against us by things like ratlings.
Well, it sounds like the walls are the entrances it is, because the only other thing I can think of is crawling up a latrine chute, but there's no way I'm doing that.
Gross.
That's gross.
Well,
we must then determine if this staging area for the soldiers is still viable. Otherwise, they can have it, and we can move on. How did these three, the Lord Commander, the Pluto, and the wizard, what's his face? How did they survive so many nights in the city?
they took another strategic location that's been lost to us since, the clock tower. That location is also quite valuable because the high loft of the clock tower actually is above the haze. It makes it a viable place to actually rest overnight as well. And that would be a great place to retake as well if we wanted to have another operational point within the city.
It seems in our benefit to reclaim any lost ground we had. So perhaps after we've secured the garrison, making a trip out to the clock tower might be beneficial. Rule number 21, take initiative. And I do think that it's time that we did so.
Indeed. My king, I would like to say something at risk to yourself, but do you intend to take part in this operation?
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Exactly. I wasn't sure if you would prefer to lead from the back, but I am pleased to know that you are going to take your place on the battlefield as befits a proper monarch of Westamar. It's very important that the soldiers of the Hooded Lanterns have given so many lives to this nation. Being able to see what they're fighting for would really mean a lot to them. With
my two companions here, we've been in some of the worst situations I've ever seen in my life. But even with a crown being an option for me, I still have to stick to what I believe in. And rule number 75, lead by example, not explanation. I'm on the front lines of this. I'm going to help fight. I have a set of skills, and I'm going to use them. Excellent. Well, we should make preparations then. Rudy, you should take Rickard Steelfang and the other Steelfangs under your direct control. I can offer you however many soldiers you need. It's up to you to decide how many you'd like to take. I've got a few hundred. However, it's your call.
I don't want to take all your men. I think, maybe, let's say 15 or so.
15.
20. I don't know.
No, you misspeaks.
30. 30.
Based on the scouting report.
Are we expecting? Yeah. Are we expecting heavy resistance? Is this okay, Rudy? I think what you're thinking here is perhaps if we went in quietly with a smaller team, we might be able to sweep through it. But
Strike force.
Or is this more a situation, Elias, that you think calls for a storming of the gates?
If you... Well, you know what this woman's capable of, Wilhelm.
Which is why 15 people and her, I've heard stories about what she's... How big was your crew in the war, Rudy?
Oh, there was 7 of us.
And you did a lot.
Well,
from
we
what
had
I've heard.
a certain set of skills. That's the thing. I mean, if I'm taking generic soldiers, we might need a few more. But if you want to give me some of your best, then great. But with the steel fangs on top of that, we've got a few of those already. I don't want to take all your men and then have no men to fill up the barracks afterwards.
Very well. I will keep the majority of the hooded lanterns in reserve. You can take these flare guns, and when you're ready for us to come in and hold what ground you've taken, you fire the signals.
All right, I'll take have other men and women ready to come in and help. But I think if we go in with all, we don't know what the situation's going to be like, and we could end up with more sentries that are, taken by delirium, and I don't want that for your men.
All right.
Do you have any of your best people that you can perhaps send with us?
I have some excellent soldiers that are part of the that I have assigned back to the Royal Guard, so I can give them to you to take, and as well the Steel Fangs and Rickard. You can have them as well.
All right. I think that'll be good for the initial go ahead.
All right. I have to make sure that several other logistics are coordinated. My king, Rudy, Wrath, can I trust you with this mission from here?
Absolutely.
If you need anything, let me know.
Will do.
Thank you, Elias.
And, Wilhelm, before you set out tomorrow, I have scheduled a special appointment. We'll be taking your measurements later this evening.
May I ask what for?
It's a 5. He's a 5.
We'll need more than that. Beg your pardon, my liege, but you look like a murder hobo.
It's the patch. It's the patch.
Can I keep the elven cloak?
We should have that laundered.
Very well, but I'm not going on a mission without it. If you watch, I could put the hood up, and now I'm harder to see. It's very important.
Who said that?
Exactly.
Yes, well, unfortunately it doesn't do much for the smell. We'll make sure that you have...
Oh, you'll get used to that. I got used to it a long time ago. He's a king of the people, so he's
It's how I know
like
he's nearby.
People.
Even when he's invisible, I can smell him.
Elias, I'm all for this, whatever you need to do to present me, I guess, as a better king, but I also want to acknowledge that we're in Drakkenheim, and we are about to make a trudge through the city to try to get to the throne. Whatever you put on me is going to smell terrible, and it's going to get ruined within a day. That being said,
I would certainly hope not, and this is something that you'll absolutely want when you're heading into the city.
okay. But again, fair warning, the last time I got new clothing, I ended up in the mouth of a hydra not very long afterwards. So it happens.
Elias, I'll do my best to keep them all spiffied up with my magic. Don't worry.
And before I head out, I appreciate that, Rudy. You should speak with Rickard as well. And Wrath, I understand that your sister, River, is here as well.
Fantastic.
We'll be prepared to set out at first light.
All right.
Rudy, you could have been making me smell pleasant this whole time. Why do I smell like an old foot?
Listen, Wilhelm, I let you make your own decisions on how you want to smell. You're an adult. If you
You're
needed the
king.
magic, you could have asked for it. I just, now you got to set a better example. So,
Well, apparently, I was under the impression that I smelled fine because I've just grown so used to my own stench, apparently. But according to Elias,
I have a strong nose. So, I've known the whole time.
Oh. I did not realize. It smells fine to me. Anyway.
It'll get some monster guts on it in no time. Don't worry.
Do the three of you want to make any further plans before you break out to for this evening and then set out in the morning?
So Wilhelm Rath, with this layout of the way this is, what are you thinking? North entrance, south entrance? Are we going to split up and do one, at the same time? We're going to try to go over the walls.
I say when we reach the destination, we find a functioning rooftop and try to get a view over the walls. Perhaps get a scouting report from a distance, see where maybe the least problematic entrance might be. We have the tools to scale the walls. We have the ability to storm one of the gates.
This is the layout of the gates. So this is the layout of Shepherd's Gate itself. It's a double bastion tower with the main gate entrance through between, and there's 4 floors. From the scouting reports that the doors of the gate are actually broken now. So they'll need to be repaired. So there's nothing preventing you from just walking right through the gate, aside from the report that you have that Elias's old soldiers are still stationed there.
Right. So I was talking about the barracks. I forgot that. Yeah, we'll need to scout the gate as well. But
yeah, because as Elias said, the barracks doesn't mean anything unless you have the gate.
yes.
Yeah.
So we will need to take those gates. I think that our best bet is if we can get up onto one of the towers and then work our way down through the gatehouse.
So start from the top and then work our way through the gate.
If that's possible, although Rudy Rath, can you perhaps, I don't know, use magic to get us up there?
I've used my ladder, I realize now.
I said magic,
No.
Rath, not a ladder.
It's a magic ladder. And I believe from a strategic point, we fly up, disable the battlements, and our team on the ground can storm the bottom of the gate without the need or worry of being attacked from above. Once we control the top and the bottom, we call in our reinforcements, and the team can hold it as we push further into the city.
Right, so then we call the troops to the gate to hold that while we push to the barracks. I like this. This is great.
Right.
We go in fast. How many people can fly? The 3 of us.
Cool. I think that makes sense that we take out the top issue.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best archers can shoot from the ground while the Steel Fangs push in, and once we control the door, we can then begin the repairs.
Raph, who knew that you were such a good mind for strategy.
I'm just repeating what Bruce is telling me.
A sound plan then.
And then eat all of the people. What? No. Don't eat them.
There'll be plenty of non-rotting bodies there for Bruce to eat.
He's quite excited.
And then, do you want to make a plan after you take the gate for the garrison?
Probably. One thing at a time, I suppose.
The garrison must be determined if it is viable. It would be a waste of resources to attack if it is not capable of housing the men, for they will turn into monsters and attack us. And that is no good.
For the garrison, is there the tower, like the main tower? Is there any doors other than through the courtyard externally, or is it you have to go through one of the gates?
So with the garrison itself, from the schematics that Elias Drexel has provided you, which are you have no reason to doubt their accuracy because he lived there for a while. He
remembered.
Yeah. So
he drew it.
What you know is this is the main keep, right? Mm-hmm. The main keep has 4 levels and then an underground. So the top, so there is an access hatch to the battlements on the top of this keep, and that leads down to what were the Lord Commander's quarters, and then they go down to another level of offices, the war room, then the Great Hall, and then underground to the stockades. So beyond accessing from the gates, there is also access from technically above, because you have assuming you still have the ability to fly.
The lower levels, what is their main access point?
On the lower levels, there's the front gate here, and the postern gate back here, and then each of the lower levels, there's the entrances to the stockade, to the keep there, the armory there, and the 2 other towers here. Elias Drexel does tell you, though, that the towers are not connected to each other internally. So there isn't like tunnels going between them. And there's the walls are solid. So you can walk on the battlements, but there's no actual tunnels in the walls.
And the underground, the beneath the ground, is there like an opening from where the rats... Elias, the rats, did they damage the seal that you made? Is there any chance
that's totally unknown at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would they normally how do you normally access them?
You access the stockades by going in the keep and then going down the stairs.
I guess they blocked it off to the sewers, right?
Yes. Yeah. They deliberately, they made sure that section was totally blocked off to whatever else was there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I think we have our plan. First we take the gate, then we set out for the garrison.
Mm-hmm. I think if we can fly, that's a quick way to get a sense of what's going on in the courtyard.
Absolutely.
And then if not, we have to take one of the gates. We pick a gate and go for it.
Okay.
Do we want to bring explosives? They have been quite helpful before, and as long as they are not large in nature, they may provide means of entering the base successfully.
I feel like, do we still have bottled comets?
Did we use? I don't know if we used
No,
them.
that you never did use them.
I think we have all of them, don't we?
Yeah.
We just wailed on him.
We just immovable rotted him, and the rest is history.
Who has that, by the way?
Brute force.
Wrath?
Who does have the immovable rod? Wrath?
Oh, I have it.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, I cleaned it. Gave it a good wipe on my robe.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a great plan. What could
Just
go
in case
wrong?
we need to enter the the keep quickly or exit quickly.
Awesome. Are you satisfied with your plan?
Yes.
I think it's our best
Okay.
plan yet. I don't think I want to jinx it at all, but I think we nailed it this time.
All right. Well, as you depart the command tent to each go to your respective personal tents for the matters at hand for the evening, Rudy, you've been told to check in with Rickard Steelfang. Wrath, you've been asked to check in with River. And Wilhelm, you have an appointment arranged. Who would like to start things off?
Start.
Okay. As you depart the command tent, there's the big bonfire outside the command tent that was used as a pyre of the sacred flame when the Silver Order used this as their base of operations. And there is still the Hooded Lantern's chaplain, an older dwarf man who still tends that flame. But there are still many faithful with the who keep the faith amongst the Hooded Lanterns. And of course, Rickard Steelfang himself is actually staring into the bonfire as you leave the command tent, Rudy.
Rickard, I see you contemplating the flame.
Yeah, I figure now that swords can kill me, I might go to meet the flame before too long at this stage. Especially if I'm gonna be involved in all these schemes of yours and your king friend over there.
Well, I mean, not all of us have had the honor of not dying to swords, and yet we still take on this battle.
Yeah, but that's the way of it, though, isn't it? Folks like us. I understand you tried to settle down after all the things you did during the war. How'd that go for you?
Well, I settled and looked after my little town, raised my kids. They're all grown up now and off on their own adventures. Some of them kept home, but I couldn't stop them from leaving. And when the call of helping the world came, I had to do something to atone for the terrible things that happened in the war. And I'm doing so. I'm helping to create a better world for everyone out there.
Way I see it, war finds its warriors. And a warrior can never walk away from the war.
I agree. It seems to come back and find me each time I try to walk away. And maybe it's just in my blood that I'm fighting for a cause. At least this time it's what I feel is a noble one.
I gotta agree. There's something that makes you feel less like when you're fighting a monster rather than a man. Makes it a little bit easier to sleep at night, don't it?
Of course it does. And it's not just fighting against a man. Now we're fighting for a man that is noble enough to deserve our help, who wants to set this right. And I think that's worth fighting for.
I don't know, though. I can already see the way that Elias Drexel looks at you. He don't think of you as some nice grandma. He looks at you and he sees someone who's gonna murder when she's asked to do it.
Well, I have no issue with taking out evil. If it means that those I love are going to stay safe, I'll take on that burden for them. I could be nice grandma, but not when my babies are put in harm's way.
Yeah, but Cecilia von Kessel, her soldiers weren't exactly evil, were they?
And I was not in the mind space that I'm in now. I was not as clear on my values. And I was not fighting for what was what was right.
Yeah, but those Illyrians, they think they're doing what's right. And you know it's only a matter of time before you and I get asked to do what's got to be done about them. You ready for that?
I'll be ready to evaluate the situation when it comes my way. I don't know what will be done. I know that we've had an interesting past with the Illyrians. I'm going to see what comes when it comes.
I mean, you ever think about getting your old band back together? Whatever happened to them?
Once we split, we lost contact. I know some aren't around, but who knows where half of the Drakkenwald regulars are at. And I hope they're somewhere peaceful, not dwelling on the things we had to do in the war.
Well, I mean, some of my boys have been drinking up down Emberwood Village and hearing about this Buckle Down Row place as well. You ever think about coast around some of them bars? Seeing if any of your old buds have washed up?
If I had the time and happened to be around, sounds like you're telling me I should, so I might have to.
I'm just saying, when it comes time for us to sneak into the Illyrian war camp and blow up all their fuel tanks, it wouldn't mind to have the rest of the Ochtenwald regulars on our side to do it.
It's true. If I could convince them to come and do that duty, they've got the experience. It's not like they wouldn't know what they're doing, but I will not put that on them unless they are willing to come of their own free choice. Not that we had that before.
Well, I mean, this next fight's gonna be interesting, but hey, you ever think about what's worse? Being burned alive or drowning?
Thought about a lot of ways that I could go.
All right. How many of my soldiers do you want to take with you on this little mission of yours?
How many do you have?
Well, we came in here with 60.
Well, I think I'm probably gonna want to have at least half.
All right, I'll get them ready. They'll be all shipshape to ship off in the morning.
All right, and tell them it's mighty appreciated, and that we're gonna do our best to bring everyone home.
All right. See you tomorrow, sir.
Have a good night. Don't stay up contemplating life too much.
Oh, life's the only thing we got left. Wrath, as you pass by Rudy chatting with Rickard, River quickly snatches you and pulls you into the tent that the Amethyst Academy has been using as their kind of point of comfort. Well,
River, I was told you were looking for me.
Yes. What happened in there?
Oh, the usual. People bowing to kings, plotting. There was some discussion of attack, and we're going to get a foothold back in the city. Were you not privy to this information?
Well, I am now.
I will pass along anything I can. I know we've had our differences growing up, but I feel like we've grown closer as I have proven time and time again that I am very capable to the academy.
Yeah, I think so. You've done okay.
Given me some great work, and thank you. Bruce likes to stay fed, and we have found some incredible artifacts. The things I've seen, River, it is mind-bending. I am truly through the keyhole.
Good. What do you mean by that?
I want it to be ominous and misleading, so that is all I will say.
Okay. Well, we need you to keep it together, because as far as I can tell, Wilhelm trusts you.
Yes.
Okay. He's going to be king.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
Once I am appointed High Mage of Drakkenheim, I will make sure to find a place for you in the order of things.
All right. Okay. I don't know about that. Listen. It really sounds like things with the academy are not going to work out very well.
Tell me more.
Well, that...
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm just worried. I'm really worried that... Well, what's going to happen next? Between the Illyrians and all of this with Wilhelm von Kessel and all these alliances, it really looks like they're not going to want to work with the academy.
The academy's place in this will be different than its current hold in the city, but I believe it will be viable and it will grow. And we can be part of that.
Do you think... I just don't know what this new king is going to want. Because if he thinks that there's any way that we can actually contain what's happened here beyond, well, what Eldrick and Sebastian have come up with, there's really no other option.
Yes, Operation Super Shield. I've really come around to it. There's ideas that we can. I have plans. I have ideas. I think it can be much more.
Okay. Do you think...
Are you worried about your place in this, River?
No, I'm worried about our place. I'm worried about our family. I'm worried about Mom and Dad.
They're of the old ways. They sit in their rooms and conjure things while we get our hands dirty. River, it is us that move the pieces. They think they're in control, but we make things happen.
All right. Okay.
How does Eldrick feel about this?
That
You're
meeting,
so close with him.
that meeting that happened a while ago, where they talked to the directorate, it really shook things up.
Yeah, got out of hand.
Yeah. And I haven't talked to Mom and Dad since then, have you?
No, we don't talk much. Although maybe it could be time to give them a choice.
What are we going to tell them?
Things are moving in a very specific way. Bruce has plans. I have plans.
Your cat?
River.
All right.
This is more than just a cat. He has shown me things. There is undeniable evidence. And I cannot tell you the gravity of the situation, but there are things that are happening in that city that maybe once we contain them, we can control them and we can unleash them.
Well, if you know something, then maybe we should talk to Mom and Dad about it. Because if things go the wrong way, they're still our parents.
If you think we should talk to them, then I think you're right, but they need to come around to us.
Okay. All right. We'll see what we can do. Don't die tomorrow, okay?
I usually don't.
And finally, Wilhelm. As you return to your tent, Elias Drexel is already there, speaking with at least two other gruff voices, and you hear you hear a back and forth between two people in the tent, saying, one says, "No, there should be enough. I think there should be enough for it. It all depends on the measurements, of course." And as you enter into your tent, Elias Drexel is there with a tall man with a big, fiery red beard, wearing a blacksmith's apron. And with him as well is Eldrick Runeweaver. And so the two men are and beside them are several, laid out on a table, are several plates of armor and several ingots of a strange-looking metal, and other pieces of measuring tape, leather straps, and other accoutrements.
Welcome to my tent, gentlemen.
Ah, yes. Elias Drexel speaks up. My liege, this is Tobias Crowe. He is the blacksmith of Emberwood Village.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
I've called him here because he's a fantastic craftsman, and he's one of the few people that has worked with the meteoric iron left behind in Drakkenheim. We've collected a few things, and I thought it would be appropriate to commission him to make you something.
All right. This is being made from the metal of the meteor itself.
Yes, says Eldrick. The Tobias Crowe here is a fantastic craftsman, and he will build a suit of armor upon which I will lay my finest abjurations.
Well, this sounds incredible. Is it safe to wear metal from the meteor? Is this like delirium problematic?
No, we will be affixing several delirium crystals into the overall suit of armor as part of the lattice work, but that will render the shards stable, and the channel of the meteoric iron will be incredibly effective.
Rule number 43, accept all gifts graciously, and this is a very gracious gift indeed. Thank you, Eldrick and Mr. Crowe, Tobias, was it?
Yes, your Majesty, begging your pardon. I've never really spoke to no royals before. I apologize.
There's no need to be anything but yourself here, Mr. Crowe. You're welcome, and thank you for lending us your incredible services. I'm just happy to have a talented blacksmith working with us.
Now, the meteoric iron is very, very subtle. Tobias Crowe begins. Depending on how you heat the metal, you can get something that is either very, very light or very, very heavy. What would you prefer?
I'm not much for big plated armor, if you couldn't tell. When it comes to combat, I was trained as a fencer. So I much prefer being able to be quick on my feet, and maneuverable is optimal for me. If you can find a way to make a suit of armor not hinder my abilities to move around the battlefield, that would be ideal.
Well then, I'm thinking I could do for you a breastplate with greaves and gloves and some very lightweight chain, all kept together by the finest leathers we can get. What do you think?
That sounds good. Make sure that it has moving room in the right places. I'm sure you know what you're doing.
Well, then
the armor that I'm wearing now is a great example, but obviously if you can make it better, or a better version of it, or something that builds on this same concept.
What armor are you wearing now?
I'm wearing... What am I wearing? I am wearing studded leather, I believe. Obviously, so I think I'm okay with any medium armor.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but I wouldn't call what you're wearing armor. It's more like some sort of wish fulfillment or fantasy that would ever actually protect you. It's remarkable you're alive if you've been wearing that into battle.
I won't lie, a Hydra did almost eat me, and the armor did nothing.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I've seen Illyrian steel that's better than what you're wearing.
Okay, then I leave it in your capable hands, blacksmith.
All right. Do you ever worn heavy armor before?
No. Again, fencer by nature. I was trained in the art of duels, and I'm much better at being maneuverable. It's how I succeed in combat. I'm faster than my foes. I'm more agile. I can pinpoint weak spots. If I have armor weighing me down and hindering that, it could be difficult. But again, I'm open to it as long as I can move.
We might be able to... I might have an enchantment or two I could weave upon it, Tobias, that would aid in the lightweight nature of the construction, but definitely if the base material is as light as possible, that would help. Tobias nods. All right then, you want a helmet? We'll make you a matching helmet. What's your favorite color?
Oh.
It's green, right?
Yes, yes.
All right.
I've never worn a helmet. Will my hair be okay? It doesn't matter.
Elias Drexel says, well, speaking of the helmet, I did wonder, Eldrick, if you had any other ideas about the head. And
If I may, I will be wearing this cloak. It's very important that I keep this cloak, and I need to be able to put the hood up. If you can see here, when I put the hood up, I'm sneakier. You can't see me as well. It's very important to the overall aesthetic that I maintain the hood.
Well, begging your pardon, Eldrick speaks up. We did have something else in mind. If it's not too much to ask, Your Highness, would you remove your eye patch? I just wanted to take a measurement as well. He pulls out this strange-looking pair of tongs. If you may want to sit down.
Wilhelm sits down, removes the eye patch, revealing the hole and the scar.
Yes. That's fine. That's fine. Would you prefer something that matches or something unique?
Let's say unique.
Very well.
I'm not trying to hide what happened to me. It's part of who I am.
All right. Tobias, you get the rest of his measurements. That should be everything that I need to work forward. Eldrick Runeweaver leaves, and Tobias Crowe proceeds to measure your chest size and your glove size and your boots and everything like that. All right. Should be good. You're a wiry fellow, Your Majesty.
Thank you. Daily exercise, minimal food, fear of death around every corner keeps you quite fit and thin.
Thank you. Elias Drexel dismisses Tobias Crowe. I hope you'll forgive me this indulgence, but I figured that we would need something practical for you to wear as well if you are going to be taking to the field.
I am nervous, and I have a very key aesthetic that I have maintained for years. I guess the goal was always to blend in with the common folk. I suppose that's not necessary anymore, so maybe it's time I start looking the part, so to speak.
Yes. It'll be a few weeks before it's all done, but I think it'll suit you very well.
Very well. Thank you, Elias.
And with that, you all take your leave for this evening. Get your rest. It'll be a big day in the morning. But that's where we're going to take a break. And we are back from our short rest. We have restocked on our potions and consumables, and we're ready to play some D&D. The evening in Camp Dawn passes peacefully, as the soldiers that you have handpicked to sally out with you in tomorrow's mission prepare themselves, and Elias Drexel readies the reinforcements who will come in the second wave to hold the locations once they are taken. In the morning, the group of soldiers line up in the field outside of Camp Dawn. There is the group of the Steel Fangs, about 30 of them, and Rickard, and about 200 hooded lanterns that have been separated into the team that's going to be joining you, and then the follow-up group that is going to come in and hold the gate, and then come in and hold the actual garrison once they're all called in. Elias Drexel has coordinated all their teams to get this all ready. And many are mounted on horseback, with many of the other hooded lanterns ready to march up Shepherd's Way towards Shepherd's Gate. The scouts from the morning confirm that the way is mostly clear. They expect some rattlings along the way, but typically a large show of force tends to have many of the rattlings still scurry away until they're drawn up. Elias Drexel turns to you, Wilhelm. Do you want to say anything before we get started?
Like, to the men?
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Yes. Oh boy.
Did you need, sir, did you need some water? Sir?
Thank you, Raph.
Cleared your throat 9 times.
Sorry, I'm just not used to giving speeches to groups of soldiers. This is first for me.
Inspire them.
Stop.
Draw fear. Put fear into their hearts. They must fear you more than they fear the ratlings.
Thank you, Raph.
Talk
Words
to
of
them
wisdom.
like you talk to us. Just our little speech.
Talk
our
down
huddle.
to them. Talk.
Rule number 1, always have a plan of attack. Rule number 2, always know your way out.
Is he gonna just list them?
Rule number 3, never underestimate your foe.
This whole thing.
Raph,
Sorry.
today we are marching into the city. I can assure you that we will face monsters that are horrific to behold. But luckily, the 3 of us have faced far more horrific things already. And I'm sure you, being hooded lanterns of the city, have seen your fair share of horror. But together, united, we will be able to regain a foothold in this city and make our first efforts towards reclaiming Drakkenheim. You who join us today will be remembered as those who made the first push. And I will be there with you. And we will make sure that we all live. Maybe I shouldn't say that. And I will make sure that we come out of this victorious. How'd I do?
There's
bad.
there's a look of uncertainty amongst the hooded lanterns, and a grizzled veteran steps forward. He has an aged face, scars running up and down across his nose, and he comes up with a young boy who can't be older than 17. Both of them are garbed in their uniforms with their weapons at the ready. He says, "You're gonna be our king, are you?"
It seems that that's the way it's happening, yes?
I want you to know that I gave 5 of my sons to Westamar. One of them was his father. And I gave 3 of my grandchildren as well.
I'm so sorry.
I'm here because if they died for nothing, then what was it all for?
And I'm here because I believe that all of the people who have tried to reclaim Drakkenheim did it for a reason. And we need to make that reason worthwhile, and that's why I'm here as well. So for you and all of these men and women who are going to be fighting beside us, I hope that we can make it worthwhile. For not only those who are here now, but those who we lost.
The boy says, "I just want to make my father, Sten Livingston, proud and honor his memory."
Whoever Sten Livingston was, I'm sure he was a brave man, an intelligent man. And I'm sure the choices he made in his time in the Hooded Lanterns were that of a great soldier. I'm sure that his memory lives on in you, young... what was your name, son?
Sten.
Young Sten. I thank you for coming with us, Sten Jr. And Today we fight for your father. For Sten!
For Stan!
For Stan!
Can that count as my inspiring leader?
Yes, it can.
I'm so inspired. Oh my god.
All right. The three of
So
us.
you're
all
the
get 13.
king? I guess so.
Listen, this is my first time doing this, all right? He has to gain some confidence, all right? We're going to get there.
Sure.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. How's my cape look? How many temp hit points do we get?
13.
Yay.
13.
Boom.
And you know what? I get to choose, I think, 5 people.
Choose Sten.
Oh, six allies. So I'm
Stan
3.
Livingston.
Sten Jr., Sten Sr.,
Yeah, young Stan and old Stan.
and
God.
one other. I don't know who.
What? One of the maybe one of the Steel Fangs.
Oh, Rickard.
Oh yeah,
Is Rickard coming?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rickard's inspired as well by my great speech.
Oh my gosh.
Wilhelm, I will give you notes after.
I probably should have done that with a little more confidence, especially the "Are you our king" part.
Look, do not let them question you. You are their king. They must bow to you. They are subservient to you.
I'm not used to ruling over people. I'm equal to everybody. Nobody is better than me, and I am better than no one.
Look, I understand that you have your priorities and you have your rules, but these people, they do not need a friend. They need a leader.
You're
And
right.
it is very important that you carry yourself in a way that instills that confidence. Although I would say that it was pretty good. Although if they ever step out of line again, tell me, and I will collapse their minds into madness.
Wrath, we need them.
The-
Don't.
Not all of them. One sacrifice.
Well, you did all right. Just the
was
more
good.
you do it, the more experience you'll get.
You're getting yeah.
Well, berries.
Berries indeed.
The column marches towards Drakkenheim. A thin mist hangs in the air, and beams of sunlight pierce the clouds overhead as the light rain falls with a soft pitter-patter in the morning air. You can feel the tingle of the haze along your skin as you march past the dilapidated buildings of the sprawl along Shepherd's Way towards Shepherd's Gate. The rear guard, they position themselves to take their positions, and already you can hear the signs of light skirmishes down the streets as the soldiers on the edges of the formation fight off the few monsters that straggle along the way, protecting the main path of the group as they head towards the main gates. And as you are given the flare guns, as always, use green if you succeed your mission. Use yellow if you need help. Use red to signal a if it's all is lost, retreat. And Rudy, you've also been instructed to use black to signal if Wilhelm has fallen.
Okay.
And as you head on in towards the city, how would you like to? It's up to you to split up the forces. What are you gonna do, Rudy?
So I'm gonna keep half on the outer wall waiting. And then half are gonna help us try to take the wall, go through the gate. And then we're flying, right?
Is that what?
We will fly? Yeah, as soon as we get much closer. I also wanted to do one other thing. Is in my final slot on my my book, my Gift of the Protectors, I want to add Rickard's name.
Okay.
I want to offer Rickard the chance to write his name in my book.
I'll take any insurance you can offer.
I know we have
just
taken
don't
away
expect me to pay any premiums.
I know we've taken away your most precious gift, and as we get closer, we'll once we actually get into movement, like once we actually get into range, because we want to potentially use it to storm the keep as well. But we only have 10 minutes on the fly, so we at least want to maximize it during the gate mission.
Yeah. It's possible you might be able to regroup once you take the gate and at least take a short rest.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to at least have like kind of half and half, like half hooded lanterns because they're going to know the area, and then half of the steel fangs.
Okay. The steel fangs, they take the role of melee combatants. The hooded lanterns ranged. So as you approach the gate, this is what you see. Okay. So the Shepherd's Gate is a pair of large bastion towers that flank a central gate opening. The walls of Drakkenheim themselves are masonry walls roughly 40 feet high, and they range from 10 to 15 feet thick, with the battlement facing outwards in both sides. The towers, the two bastion towers, are 60 feet tall and about 30 feet in diameter. And these ones are topped with battlements that the hooded lanterns is actually reinforced with a hoarding and several ballistas. And in fact, the whole of Shepherd's Gate had been once reinforced in many ways with several barricades even around the gate on either side, many of which are in a state of complete disarray. You can see that the two bastion towers flank a double portcullis gate, but the portcullis is visibly raised, so you can see that it's not closed, and the gate doors that would be closed over the portcullises have just been battered open and left to hang. There is a mountain of corpses of hooded lantern soldiers sprawled in the opening of the gate. The bodies having not rotted since they died where they are. You can see there is evidence that several of the bodies were dragged off and perhaps eaten by something. The fact that there would be a pile of corpses here that haven't been eaten by ratlings is alarming on itself. But as you approach the gate, you can see that there are several shuffling figures atop the battlements themselves. And as you get close, you hear the thwang of the ballista on top of the gate get fired. And there is a crash as one of the ballista shots hits part of the formation of hooded lanterns, sending several horses and soldiers scattering to the ground dead.
Now can I cast fly?
Absolutely. With that, why don't you roll for initiative? Ooh. You can cast fly before combat, however.
Ooh.
Starting off with some strong rolls.
Rudy, what you got?
5.
Okay.
Oh, that was sarcastic. There it is.
Wilhelm?
15.
Okay. Wrath?
20.
Okay. All right. So here we are. You are all down here. This is your contingent of soldiers that you've selected to bring with you. Rudy, what do you want to order them to do?
I want to order the hooded lanterns to take cover and use their bows to take shots at the ballistas. And I think I'm gonna get the melee fighters. So the only way in is through the gates, correct?
Either that or climbing the walls.
Okay. I'm gonna get the wolves. I guess they're gonna call them wolves. Steel fangs. To go for as close to the walls as they can and start to climb.
Yeah, the steel fangs do have grapple hooks with them, so they can throw them and climb up on ropes.
Yeah, as fast as they can. Like if they can dash to the walls just to get out of the line of the ballistas, then that would be great. And then if they, meet us at the top.
And
first one there wins.
Alrighty. And with that, Wrath, you are the first to act.
I'm going to sprout into the air with minimal effort.
Okay.
Raising my height to... How tall is the gate?
The middle section and the towers are 60 feet high.
Okay, so I'm going to go 60 feet straight up from my current location. And I'm going to take some Eldritch Blasts at the right side, my right ballista.
Okay, are you going to shoot the ballista or the crew?
I'm going to shoot the... Ooh. Question. Does my Eldritch Blast, the Eldritch...
yeah, technically Eldritch Blast can't target objects, but that's dumb, so we're going to ignore that.
Okay, no, I'll shoot the... I'll shoot the people.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot the monsters manning it. So I get a 22 and a 18.
Okay.
To hit.
Which one are you targeting?
The ones on the right side, my right.
Okay.
So I forget how to do the.
Just click and hold.
There, this one.
So
anyone manning that one.
As you raise up into the air, you see a good glimpse at the distended figures that are on the battlements. They are shuffling corpses, barely decomposed, if at all, but you can see the whites of their eyes and the flecks of delirium going up their clotted veins, and small bits of delirium shards are coming out of their spines or sometimes growing into their faces. There are several others. They are garbed in the livery of the Hooded Lanterns, and there are several others that are garbed as veteran soldiers that are up amongst with them as well.
This is for Sten, and
both your attacks do hit though.
So it's going to be I'm going to shoot one on the right one, doing 13 force damage.
Okay.
And I'm going to launch it back 10 feet.
Okay.
So this one here. And then on the second shot is going to be 12 damage, and I'm going to shoot that one there. So I'm going to try to move them off of the ballista.
Both of them are hit, and so it's both of them are left bloodied by those hits, but not destroyed.
And so I basically am in my exact same position, just 60 feet up.
Okay, I marked that on your character.
Great.
A figure shuffles forward. This one looks like he might have been one of the captains of the Hooded Lanterns. He comes to the edge of the battlements, but there are several larger pieces of delirium that glow inside his body, and he shakes and shudders with arcane energy as magic explodes out of the delirium around him towards you, Wrath. And he actually fires his own Eldritch Blasts right back at you.
Oh, no.
Getting a 16 and a 10 to hit.
The 16 is a hit.
Alrighty. That is going to be 12 points of force damage.
And we're going to make a... Let's see if I continue to fly. I got an 18.
Okay. Great.
Really needed that.
All right. With that, Wilhelm, it is your turn.
What's the speed on flying? How far can I fly?
I believe the fly spell is
60.
60 feet.
I am going to... So it's 40 feet to the tower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fly to the tower and stick with my spider climbing boots to the wall.
Okay.
Now, can I fly, so 40 feet, can I also go, like, up near the top of it?
Yep. Yeah, you could fly all the way to the top of the tower, and that would be your movement in total.
Okay. So I'm sticking to the side, but I'm going to pop up over the top, and I'm going to shoot at the captain.
Okay.
Getting a 20 to hit.
That is a hit.
That's going to be 7 damage.
All right.
And that's probably all my movement, though. Like, do I have any more movement if I flew up and over 40 feet?
I think you got like maybe 10 more feet of movement left.
All right. You know, I mean, that's going to put me in a lot of danger. Maybe I'll just stay where I am. I'm just going to... Sorry?
Ash, could you...
Yeah, but... I'm using my bonus action to attack anyway,
okay.
So...
Okay.
So I'm going to use my bonus action to attack again at the captain and stay sticking to the outside of the wall. That's going to be a 28. So that's going to be another 7.
All right.
And I'm going to remain sticking to the outside of the wall, and I'm going to actually use my 10 feet to kind of just move along the wall.
Okay.
There.
So do you want to be at the very top of the wall, or do you want to be slightly down from it?
Let's make me about 5 feet down the wall.
So you're 55 feet up. Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, no way for you to get a sneak attack on those ones, I'm afraid.
No, but
right.
it was too dangerous, I think, to dive in.
With that, the undead Hooded Lantern veterans, you hear several of them scream out just this, like, it sounds guttural, but they say, "Fire!" And several of them, as they cry out, they take out crossbows of their own, and as they bark the command, they're gonna fire a couple shots. Well, these two, they've got a clear shot to Wrath, and these two over here, they actually catch sight of Wilhelm sneaking up around the side, and they're gonna fire their crossbow shots at him.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Wilhelm, I get a 17 and a 7 to hit you.
17 hits.
And Wrath, I get a 2 10s to hit you.
Whew. They fall short.
Wilhelm, I hit you for 10 points of damage.
That's fine. I'm so inspired, I didn't even notice.
All right. Inspired by yourself.
The bolt hits me, and I'm like, my speech earlier was so good.
Okay. Meanwhile, the Haze Husk Hooded Lanterns, move back up to the crossbows. These two have to move up, so they won't be able to fire this one this turn. But the other bolt shots go off, and this crossbow twists around to get a nice clean shot at Wilhelm.
Oh no.
This crossbow will fire at Rudy, and this ballista will fire at Wrath.
Oh, God.
So Wilhelm, I get a 17 to hit you with the ballista.
Oh no.
I'm going to impose my entropic ward, causing it disadvantage.
So Wrath, that turns a critical hit into a 6.
That's very important.
And Rudy, that I get a 19 against you.
Shield!
Okay, so Wilhelm gets hit by the ballista.
The bolt hits me. I'm like, this doesn't hurt. And then a ballista bolt goes into me.
The ballista bolt is going to do 25 points of damage, Wilhelm.
And my boots are sticking, but I'm just like go kind of limp, hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
My feet are still stuck in place, but I'm drooping.
Yeah. And with that, Rudy, it is your turn.
And I say, y'all are in for some pain. And I fly. I was going to say run, but I fly. And a Houdini comes with me. And I think I can make it to the middle here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to start swinging my axe around. Where's Houdini? Get over here, you owl. It's going to hang out right here. And I'm going to go for this guy right here. For 20 to hit?
That is a hit. Yep.
Oh, wait. Yeah, yes. Okay. 28 damage.
Against this guy?
Yeah.
You decapitate the zombie. As you do, though, an explosion of delirium flies out of it. And you and Houdini both need to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay. Mine is 20.
Okay.
And Houdini. Well. Oh, that's a natural 20, but he has a -1, so a 19.
Okay. So you don't take necrotic damage, and neither of you gain any contamination from the explosion of delirium shards from the haze husk's body.
I yell over at everyone else. They explode in delirium.
We saw that. We saw it, Rudy.
And despite that, I take a swipe at the one beside me again.
Okay.
So brave.
And it's 19 to hit.
Also a hit.
29 damage.
Cloven in half, it explodes in a shower of concentrated haze. Give me another Constitution save for you and Houdini.
Okay, so mine is 28.
Okay.
And Houdini's is 3.
Houdini takes 7 points of necrotic damage and gains a level of contamination.
Oh, he's done. He has 1 hit point.
Okay. Poof.
And then, so for my great weapon master attack on your turn, when you score a critical hit with a melee weapon or reduce a creature to 0, you can make 1 extra melee
As a bonus
attack
action.
with your bonus action. So I'm gonna take at I'll go with this guy right here.
Okay, one of the captains. Yep.
One of the captains. And that is 7 plus 14.
A 14 is a right on, right what you need.
Oh, amazing. Okay. That's 23 damage.
That leaves this one bloodied, but still standing. Anything else, Rudy?
think that is it.
Alrighty. Okay. Rickard Steelfang sends the Steelfangs charging forward towards the gate. So they're all going to dash. And there are several other soldiers along here, and the Hooded Lanterns fire their shots. Unfortunately, with where the other zombies are positioned on the battlements, there's not too many clear shots for the Hooded Lanterns on the ground down here. So they don't really manage to do too much in the ways of the main battle in the center. However, as the Steelfangs approach the opening of the gate towards where the pile of bodies is, you hear Rickard cry out, we might have a bit of an issue down here. There's a lot more. As the pile of slain Hooded Lanterns lurches up and together as one, as a massive, almost as if they are the shape of a clot of bodies blocking the artery that is the gate itself. And as this massive mound of undead corpses lurches forward, immediately you see one of the Steelfang soldiers just go flying backwards, as a shower of corpses fly out and body parts fly out into the midst of others, and many of the other Steelfangs immediately begin clutching over their faces as the smell of the bodies emanating from the clot of bodies begins to overtake them. And Rickard cries out, "We're gonna need some help down here. It's real bad." We go to the top of the round with Wrath.
Okay. So how big is this creature? You said it takes up the doorway.
It fills the entrance. It's a huge... It's a swarm of undead bodies that have formed one coherent mass that is a single huge creature.
I calmly lower myself 60 feet.
Okay.
Back onto the ground. And I'm gonna aim right for about here.
Okay.
And then looking towards the giant mass of creatures, I'm going to my eyes go a weird black color, and tendrils start to come out of Bruce, and I'm going to cast Synaptic Static in the middle of the creature.
In the middle of the creature. Okay. All right. So I got to make an intelligence saving throw.
Yes.
What is the save DC?
19.
I have a -4 penalty, so I literally cannot succeed. For the record, I rolled a 15, which is with -4 is an 11. But yes,
That's not bad.
I literally cannot succeed.
So
Good
seeing
call,
this
Raph.
awful creature appear, Wrath cancels the flying. Well, you're stuck to the wall, so you're good. Rudy's grounded. And
Synaptic Static doesn't require concentration, so you don't need to drop concentration on fly if you don't want to.
What?
Yeah.
Well, then that's pretty sweet. Woo! Good to know. Then we continue to fly. 31 psychic damage.
All right. Several of the heads of the corpses in the body mound explode.
They can't handle it.
And now I think I have a -D6 penalty to my attack rolls with this thing, which I...
and constant Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. Not that I don't know if it's concentrating on holding itself together. Like if there's like arms holding arms, and they're like,
there's hands holding hands, but it's disturbing.
Oh, that's so like around the world. Wow.
Hands, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you.
And then that's my turn.
Sweet zombie clot.
Okay. With that, we now go to the captain, who looks over at the situation here and glancing down the battlements, sees Wilhelm there, and he looks at you, Wilhelm, and he casts Hold Person. As sweeping tendrils of delirium energy emanate out of the crystals towards you. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, not wisdom. It's okay. I need to be held right now.
Hold my hand.
I got an 11.
You are paralyzed. I'm gonna say that with the spider climb, your boots still keep you stuck to the wall, but you are paralyzed on your turn.
This is great.
Wilhelm.
I look over and I say, I'm familiar. I've been there, Wilhelm.
You know
Wilhelm,
the deal.
it is your turn. Unfortunately,
Sweet.
you are paralyzed, but you can make a wisdom saving throw to escape the Hold Person.
This is. Why does it have to be wisdom? Wilhelm is not a wise man.
I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you get out of it.
You know, that's a great point, Wrath. And since I rolled a 1, I'm going to use... Lucky's a great feat. I rolled a 6.
Okay, you remain paralyzed.
I'm going to use Can I use 2 luck points in one turn?
No, I don't think you can reroll a reroll.
All right. Then, yep, that's a luck point. Turning a 1 into a 6.
Okay. Well, fortunately for you, as we come to the whites, fortunately for you, Rudy has killed the zombie. The 2 crew are required to fire the crossbows. So I can't peg you with another one of these crossbows over here while you're paralyzed, because there's
That's
not
great.
enough, there's not enough zombie crew
Thanks, Rudy.
to handle that. But in any case, so these guys are all going to swarm Rudy to attack her. And these ones up here are going to bring their crossbows forward. So I'm going to fire, Wrath, you've come back down on the ground. And so the 2, veteran, undead hooded lanterns are going to shoot you with their crossbows.
Hey.
Getting a 16 and a 7 to hit.
16 hits.
That's going to be 8 points of piercing damage from the hit. And then 2 of them are going to fire one of the ballistas at you.
Okay.
Getting a 15 to hit.
Oh! Hello, ballista. I made my concentration check on the bow.
Okay. Well,
Crossbow?
the ballista's going to be 25 points of damage.
Oh my God.
The other ballista isn't angled such that it could hit you, Wrath, so it's going to shoot at the hooded lanterns.
Oh no.
And one of the hooded lanterns gets impaled.
No. Not Sten, right?
Not Sten.
What's the concentration save on 25 damage?
It is 12.
Okay, I made it.
Okay.
So we can still fly.
Yeah.
We can still fly.
And then the zombie hooded lanterns are going to attack Rudy. I get an 11 and a 7. I don't think that those are going to go through. But the veteran ones, they're going to attack. And they're going to use their special ability. They are, instead of using their regular attacks, they're going to use their contaminated touches against you, Rudy.
Oh, cool.
Getting a 20 and an 8 to hit.
Yield.
Okay, so you're not going to take 3d6 necrotic damage from those. and possibly gain contamination.
No, we don't want
don't want
any of that contamination.
Okay, their other attacks. I do get a critical hit though with their longsword attack, which you can't shield your way out of. So the critical hit with the longsword is going to be a big old 18 damage, Rudy.
Ooh.
Flesh wound.
All right. Going along, Rudy, it is your turn.
All right. And I say, as they move closer to me and surround me, I say, y'all are just coming closer to your deaths. And I just start, again, swinging my axe around to the damaged captain. I don't know. Captain?
Yep, the veteran.
Veteran. Okay. Oh, 28 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
24 damage.
What happens?
Oh, I cleave his head off.
You're just a whirlwind
Classic.
of heads popping off. Just pop, 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 pop.
That's all the from the ground. That's all the hood landed to is head.
All right. Next,
And then I'm gonna go for this guy beside me.
which one?
Who's my
Okay, the soldier or the captain, the veteran.
soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go for the veteran actually.
Okay.
I got that. So 11 plus 7, 18.
It's a hit.
Ooh. And that's 28 damage.
It leaves the veteran body bloodied as you bring the axe straight through from cleaving off his former companions right into the side of her body.
And for my bonus action, because I killed the other one,
Yep.
I'm gonna take one more shot. Oh, 11.
Not a hit. They deflect at the
Ooh.
last moment.
All right. And I growl. "Arr!"
Okay. The clot. The clot reaches into itself, reverberating from the horrific psychic assault of Wrath. It hurls a detached lump of corpses at Wrath.
Ah!
Wrath, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
It's just rude.
Oh,
I get a 9. Now, does he get a minus D6 or something?
No, because it's a saving throw based ability.
Ah.
You take 16 bludgeoning damage, and the bodies grab onto you and hold you down, and you are entombed in the dead flesh and restrained.
Help! As and then you just see me disappear.
Yeah. So there's like basically the clot rips off several of the bodies, throws them at Wrath, and there's just another pile holding him down and starting to rip Wrath into pieces.
I got a 9 on my con save.
The fly ends.
Help!
I wish I could, but I'm being held.
Okay, Wrath, it is your turn, and at the start of your turn, the zombie bodies bite into you, and you take another 10 necrotic damage.
Ugh.
And
Wait, was the first damage necrotic?
It was
No, it was bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do need another con save from you.
Just a regular con save.
Yep.
I get a 1
You gain
plus 4.
You gain 1 level of contamination.
Ah! They're biting me?
Yeah.
My arm! That's my throwing arm. And that doesn't feel great.
Yeah. The steel fangs do rush up to it, and they do start fighting it. But it does take a couple damage from their attacks.
So is it all holding me down?
You are restrained by the effect, and you're entombed in the dead flesh, so you can't see anything as well outside. Like you can see, but you can't see beyond. Like they're like trying to rip your eyeballs out. One of them has its finger up your nose. Like they're scratching against you. They're pulling your mohawk. They're really like ripping you everywhere. And you do need to roll to see if you mutate. Roll a d6.
Just casually. Okay.
What's the worst that could happen?
3.
Okay, so you don't mutate.
That's important. Okay, so 1 level of exhaustion. I am going to
1 level of contamination.
I'm going to. As I struggle to break free, I radiate bright light.
Okay.
It just starts to pierce through the holes of where the bodies exist, and I'm going to turn on my radiant consumption.
Okay.
And they all start to take 5 radiant damage.
The radiant damage does damage them, and half of the bodies grasping you are disintegrated by the radiant energy.
So I just turn it on, and you can see just light pouring out, like in little, almost like a colander, through the horrible mess of bodies on top of me.
Yep. Anything else you want to do?
That's and then I take damage. Then that's it.
Okay.
As I try to break free from this horrible monstrosity.
Okay. The captain, having paralyzed Wilhelm, is going to fire some eldritch blasts over at Rudy. Who you're still under shield, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
No, so those are both going to miss, I'm afraid. So it fires at you on the other side and directs the others now start turning the crossbows. They're rotating this crossbow to shoot over at you, Rudy. Wilhelm, it is your turn.
Great. Wisdom saving throw, right?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to use my other d20. Actually, here we go.
That's all you needed to do.
How's a 16 work for me?
You shake out of it.
Okay. Is that at the beginning or the end of my turn?
The end of your turn, I'm afraid.
Cool. I'm going to narrate some cool stuff anyway. Sebastian snaps out of it. He comes to dangling there on the wall.
Not Sebastian.
Sebastian. Wilhelm.
Wherever Sebastian is, he does snap out of it. But that doesn't have any bearing on...
He feels it.
He was like, a part of me is in danger. Wilhelm snaps out of it. Snaps out of it on the wall. He looks at his dangling self there. His arm is dislocated from taking a ballista bolt. He grabs his shoulder, snaps it back into place, pulls out his rapier, and looks down at the monster attacking everybody and gets ready to fight. And that's my turn.
Okay. The undead hooded lanterns. They're going to attack you, Rudy, a couple times. The 2 zombies, I get a 23 and a 22 with their slam attacks.
Huh.
You know what? I'm gonna let it go.
All right. Those 2 attacks deal 8 damage and 5 damage, respectively. And the veteran is going to attack you first with their contaminated touch, getting a 13, and their longsword getting a 23.
23 hits.
Okay, and the longsword will deal another 7 points of slashing damage as the 3 of them surround you and attack you with their weaponry. The others over here, seeing Wrath getting consumed by the ballista, the ballistas, one of these ballistas is going to turn around and it's going to fire its shot at Rudy. Getting a 16 to hit.
Nope.
No. The other ballista though is going to take out another one of these hooded lanterns, blowing them away. Yep. And then the other 2, these guys are going to come to the edge here where Wilhelm is and fire their crossbows down at Wilhelm.
Hey, I'm trying to fight here.
Getting a 12 and an 8.
I dance along the side of the wall, moving out of the way of the shots.
Okay. Rudy, it's your turn.
I'm gonna keep cleaving.
All right.
I'm gonna go for the injured veteran. 22 to hit.
You got it.
With max damage, so 30 damage.
You don't even cut his head off. You cut his head in half down the middle. Yeah.
Out he goes. Now on to the smaller lanterns. 23 to hit.
Yep, and roll the other hit.
20 to hit.
All right. I what's your minimum damage?
18 plus a D12.
I don't think they can survive. Roll it.
Hey, boop, boop.
Okay. And I am going to. How far away am I?
I just imagine you take one like spin and just all three of them drop.
Yes.
Get it, Rudy.
I'm going to.
Get it, Rudy.
I'm going to action surge and I'm going to go for the big body.
Okay.
Yeah.
I jump off the battlements onto
Onto the body?
onto the body.
Okay. Now it's kind of underneath the gate there, so you would be kind of jumping like this.
That's
basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Now that is a 60-foot jump. But you could kind of like claw down the side with your axe as you slide down or grab a banner. So give me an athletics check as you kind of like climb down the side, like to throw yourself down the side.
18.
Okay. You still are going to take a bit of damage. So
Okay.
I'm going to still say you do take 10 bludgeoning damage, but you do land,
Okay.
you're not going to land prone.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because I think fly is gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in my
I will give you
action-
advantage on your attacks.
Oh, yay! Okay. So I'm gonna action surge. So I'm gonna get 2 shots in on the big bodies. That is a 21 to hit,
It's a hit.
and I'm gonna take the other one, which is a 23 to hit.
Both hit.
Nice.
So, 21 on one damage on one attack and 19 damage on the other.
Wow. So that's a total of 40 damage. Alrighty. You are in a mass of corpses, cleaving through it limbs, flesh, and torsos as they immediately begin grasping back at you. As the creature reaches out to grab and engulf you, you can still feel the disturbing force of the synaptic static that Wrath left as it attacks you back with its slam attacks. Its first attack would have been a 20, but Wrath's penalty turns that into a 17.
Nope.
The second attack. Ooh, this one might. Oh man. So this would have been a 26. Or sorry, this would have been a 24, but it turns into an 18 because I rolled a 6 on
Well,
the
I still
synaptic
have
static.
to use a shield to do it. So. Shield.
Okay. So you do protect yourself with the shield then in that case. Okay, we go back to the top of the round with Wrath. You are still being consumed, Wrath. You take another 10 necrotic damage.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to get out of it.
Okay.
Can I attempt to free myself from this prison?
Yes.
Of
you
corpses.
You can. You can either deal damage to the prison of corpses or try to break out with a strength check.
You know what? The first one. So I'm gonna try to because Eldritch Blast is too big. It's I'm gonna get disadvantage on it. So
you're
I'm
gonna
going
get
to use
disadvantage no matter what because you're restrained.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bruce
Well
help
then
you at all?
I'm gonna use Chill Touch. Instead. No, wait. I guess if you're saying I'm getting disadvantage anyways, I'm gonna try to
Fire two beams. Okay.
2 beams of Eldritch Blast. I get a 15
Okay, that hits.
and a crit into a 23.
Both hit though.
Into the mass that's swallowing me for a total of 18 plus 10 damage.
So imagine like the collar of the few beams of light shining through the bodies, and then there's just that explosion of as you blast away all the bodies that are no longer entombed in the dead flesh.
And I try to compose myself.
Okay. As you do, the undead captain upon the battlements reaches out with their magic to Eldritch Blast you, Wrath. Getting a natural 1 and a 19 to hit.
Oh, the 19's solid.
That's going to be 8 points of force damage.
Ooh.
Wilhelm, we go to you.
Wilhelm is going to run along the side of the wall on an angle downwards. How high above the zombie clod am I? Like, how tall is the zombie clod?
The zombie clod is like 20 feet high.
All right, so I want to get above it, but not drastically above it. Enough that basically I'm going to run along to here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to leap off the wall, doing a cool mid-air cartwheel.
Okay.
And land on the zombie clot next to Rudy.
Okay.
And as I land, I'm going to yell to Rudy, Rudy, either finish up here with me or help get those ballistas off of us. And I'm going to take my blade and raise it with both hands and jam it down into the creature.
Okay. Give me an attack. And since you've give me an acrobatics check to fly down with a flourish.
All right, that's going to be... Well, I only rolled a 4, so I guess that's only a 17.
Okay, it is flourish, but I'm not going to grant you advantage on the attack roll.
That's fine. It was still a cool cartwheel.
It was.
And I land,
Fancy.
and I'm going to attack. Since I am next to Rudy, I will still get sneak attack. That's going to be a 27.
You pry into what looks like the central... if it could be said that there's a central artery to this clot. Like, imagine like there's... If you imagine like a clot of blood, there's like that one part of the blood clot where like you just know that that's the weak point that would cause it to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll sneak attack. 5d6, buddy.
All right.
Sneaky.
Here we go.
Plus, okay, 30 damage.
Well, with
Nice.
the damage that it's taken before, that is enough to slay it, provided I fail my undead fortitude check.
Oh no.
Shoot.
Okay. So you did 30 damage. So I just want to say that the DC is technically 5 plus the damage taken, which is the DC 35. I did roll a critical hit, but I rolled a 20, but a 20 isn't an auto pass on saves. So I'm destroyed, and I explode in a shower of necrotic energy and contaminated magic. Constitution saving throws all around, everybody.
How large is the radius?
It is 30 feet.
Okay, so Wilhelm lands, yells to Rudy, go take care of those ballistas.
No.
I've got it here, and sees the artery and as hard as he can, slams his blade into the artery, and it just ruptures.
And a shower of necrotic ichor, laced with delirium and contamination, bursts out like a spent blood, like a exploded blood vessel.
I'm screaming while like body bits are spraying at me and everything. It's great. Constitution saving throw?
Yeah.
I rolled a 25.
Okay. So Rudy, you only take 7 necrotic damage. Wrath?
I got a 13.
You take a total of 14 necrotic damage.
I used another luck point and got a 15.
Okay, that is a success. Wrath, you do gain another level of contamination.
Oh, roll the d6?
Yep, roll the d6.
2.
You mutate! Give us a d20, buddy.
Oh, no. Ah!
What is Bruce
I
gonna
was
think
right
of
on the
you?
edge, too. I was right on the edge. I get a 16.
16. Okay. Strange spider-like hairs sprout out of your fingers, and you gain a climb speed equal to your walking speed. You can climb on difficult surfaces, including upside down and on ceilings, without needing to make an ability check.
Do
Am
I
I
have
the
to
only one who
climb
can't
upside
climb?
down when I
Oh.
climb upside down?
Yeah,
like
you have to
an
scuttle,
exorcist thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah! More
Really?
power.
Need to get some that lets me climb because I'm the only one that's stuck
Yeah.
on the ground now.
And many of the steel fangs are also affected by the explosion. Fortunately, most of them survive, but you can see the contamination on them, and the splash of contaminated energy hits Rickard, but he does not gain contamination or mutate.
Good job, Rickard.
I can have like 4 aqua expurgos. Really
Yeah, I also have 4 aqua expurgos. We're going to take them when we go into the city. I thought
We're saving them.
Yeah.
We're saving them for that special day.
All right. The whites, they're gonna continue to, they're gonna move up over here, and they're gonna fire down on you, Wilhelm.
Yep.
I get an 18 with one of their shots.
Yep.
For 6 points of piercing damage.
I'm going to half that,
And I'm
which I
gonna
probably should have been doing.
fire another ballista shot at Wrath.
Uh-oh.
I get a 20 to hit.
Yep.
For 20 damage.
Okay.
Wrath, stop standing out in the middle of the open. Come on.
Ah! Okay, so that does 20. I have 8 health.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are impaled on a ballista bolt.
And then my book glows. And I stand up.
Oh, with 1 hit point.
Ugh.
I yell.
Like you get impaled, and the ballista shot like gets pushed out of your body and lands on the ground.
I'm just imagining this scene where I yell, like, get out from in the open, and you look up just as the ballista bolt, like, pins you to the ground, and then your book and eyes start to glow as you just lift off of them. And you're okay.
So yes,
Thumbs up.
my book kicks in. The gift of the protectors. But now I'm super vulnerable.
Okay. Fortunately, the other ballista doesn't have the angle to you, but it does kill another hooded lantern.
No.
The Stens are in the other group of hooded lanterns, by the way.
Smart.
Yeah.
They're in the
B team.
Yeah, in the B team. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the gift of the protectors, there's no roll, it just happens. Yeah? Cool. Cool. I just imagine that, yeah, it's like there's a split-second moment where it looks like Wrath is dead. Like the ballista bolt was like would have totally impaled and killed him, and then just the magic just keeps you alive.
Did I hear a cat purring while that happened? That was a weird sound.
All right.
Bruce
Rudy,
licks my face
it's
once.
your turn.
And it...
And everybody is 60 feet in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't climb that much. Is there a way inside and up to this hatch?
To get in there, you would have to go all the way over here, up the stairs, inside the building, and around.
Okay, how far is that? Oop. I can there if I dash.
And you'd have to also go up several floors in the process.
And okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't get up there.
One of the steel fangs offers you their grappling hook.
Oh, that's mighty nice. I take the grappling hook and I start to climb. How far can I climb?
It's going to be an action to throw it, and
Okay.
You can climb it half your walking speed.
So 15. Okay. Then I am going to climb up 15 feet.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bonus action Misty Step 30 more feet up just to try to get up there.
Yeah, that'll actually get you to the top here, where you're just one level down. So this is because so this is 60 feet. This is 45 feet in the middle here. So yeah, there's a doorway here that leads into the tower.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. That's as far as I'm getting.
Alrighty. Well, with that, we go back to the top with Wrath, who is barely alive.
I can never die, and I look up at the captain, this one here, and I'm gonna shoot a Eldritch Blast at him.
All right, I'm gonna give him cover, so that'll be a bonus to his AC. But go for it.
29.
It's a hit. Despite
and I'm gonna activate my radiant. So I'm gonna deal 18 damage. 10 of that is radiant.
That destroys him.
You will suffer. And then I shoot the one beside him. I get a 16 against this one.
Even with the cover, it still hits.
Woo. Oh man, bad rolls for the damage. Only 6 damage, but I'm gonna knock the creature back 10 feet.
Okay.
And then I run for cover. So I'm gonna try to base myself at the bottom of the thing and use my bonus action to turn off my radiant consumption so I don't engulf myself in radiant damage and die, because that would not be good. That would probably not be a good move to play.
to die again. Yeah. Okay. Well, with
Don't
that,
let it consume you.
Wilhelm, it is your turn, sir.
I'm gonna cunning action dash using my spider boots. So it's 15 feet to the wall, so I can only make it 45 feet up.
You would need to get up. If you cunning action dash, you can get up to the top because you have a climb speed with your boots.
So I guess I could run on the wall here and up.
Like
and
here,
towards. Just moving up and towards the top the whole time. You're gonna allow me to get there?
You could get there basically. Yeah.
Well, actually, is there anybody I can actually sneak attack here? They're all close to each other. Well, I'm just gonna hope Rudy gets here soon. So as I'm running up the wall, I yell to Rudy, I'm like, Rudy, I'm going to need backup. And I leap up the wall, and I'm going to attempt to stab this guy in front of me as I jump onto the tower.
Yeah, because you can't swashbuckler him because he's beside another creature, right?
Yeah, it's only if there's no other creature within 5 feet. Is it of me or of him? Hold on. This is actually important wording. Let's take a look at... you don't need advantage on the attack roll to use your sneak attack against a creature if you are within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you.
Oh, so you can sneak that guy.
I can.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So I leap up on, do like a superhero land on the top of this tower, stand up, and drive my blade into this creature.
Nice.
Getting a 26 to hit.
Oh. Yeah. That's gonna do it.
Yeah, he goes to hiss at me, and I drive my blade through his throat. Doing 34 damage. I jam my blade into his throat, and as I twist it, it like pulls his neck out, and his head kind of crushes in on itself.
I imagine you kind of finish it off with that, like kind of like that commando move where you climb up, you stab him in the throat and throw him down off the wall.
Yeah. So as I pull my blade out, it kind of pulls him with me. He lurches towards me, and I stick out my foot, and he just tumbles over it down the wall and lands right next to Wrath.
Alrighty. Well, with that, these guys are going to move up to attack you. In melee. These two have to spend all their movement, so they're not going to get there. So one zombie attacks you, getting an 18 to hit.
That hits, but I'm okay.
For 5 damage. And then
I'm going to half that.
Well, are you sure you want to use it on
there's
that?
More? There's more coming?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to have that.
Now the white is going to use their contaminating touch on you, getting a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 17 necrotic damage.
I will half.
And I need a con save versus contamination.
That's the one. Become contaminated. Wilhelm, it is good over here.
I get a 12.
That's actually a success. In that case. So
you
do not gain a level of contamination. And then he makes a longsword attack against you, getting a 15 to hit.
I parry and deflect.
Okay. All right. That's them. So I'm over to Rudy.
Rudy?
All right. I am going to run towards the wall, but then I am going to use my bonus action to Misty Step again. Up here. And start cleaving some heads.
Nice.
Here we go. Okay, 17 plus 7, so 24? 24 to hit?
Against the veteran or the soldiers?
Veteran.
That's a hit.
19 damage.
All right, he still stands.
Another crit.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay. I'm not gonna survive. There's no way he survives this.
Death.
Yeah. Yeah. And he tumbles down the sides of the battlement to join the other. Unfortunately for you, though, you used your bonus action to Misty Step, so no more Great Weapon Mastering.
I got there, though.
We go to the top with Wrath.
I can't see anything. Even the creature right above me, I think, is out of line of sight.
Yeah.
So I begin to climb the battlements.
With your new mutated ability. Nice.
Oh, and you make that sound too, I imagine. Like There's just something
Yeah, there's
about
like a
it.
scuttling noise. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that sound?
I become more animal,
More monsters.
more monster. And I guess I'll drink a healing potion. I mean, 1 health. It's a pretty good
Okay.
buffer, but I'll drink some healing.
All right. Wilhelm, we're over to you, sir.
I'm going to stab one of these soldiers, probably one that's 5 feet away from. Actually, yeah. I'm going to stab the one basically in front of me next to Rudy.
Okay.
It's going to be a 19. Going to get my sneak attack on that. $25 damage.
It is slain. It explodes, though. Rudy
Oh, yeah.
and Wilhelm, I both need the saves from you guys. Con
As my
saves.
blade goes in,
Oh,
it pops.
yeah.
18.
18 as well.
All right. No damage, no contamination.
Hold our breaths.
I turn and I shoot the one. Actually, I'm going to shoot the one that's on the other side of me that Wrath is scuttling towards. That's 22.
Okay.
That's only going to be 6 damage,
Okay,
though.
that doesn't slay it. Do you want to move?
Yeah, because I shot this one, I can move. I'm just going to move back. Or I guess I can't move that far.
All right.
I move back a bit.
Rudy, do you think you can take these 3 out to bring it on home?
Ooh, should we try?
All right.
Let's do it. The one in front of me. 21 to hit with
Yeah, these 2 were actually
18
damaged by.
plus.
Yeah, that one was actually damaged by Wrath earlier. it had less than 10
He
hit
did
points
not.
left. Yeah.
He did not.
I cleave ahead. I step forward.
Cleave.
17 plus 7 to
Yep,
hit.
taken down.
Cleaved, and I step towards this one with menace. That is a 15 to hit.
Also slain.
Oh,
I need 3 con saves though. Let's see if you get contaminated by the explosions.
oh my. Oh, 10.
That's a save. That's enough.
Oh, okay.
How badly did I roll? I got contaminated.
19 and a 20.
Okay. You breathe
Nice.
in the contaminated air as
It does nothing.
the battlement's cleared, the steel fangs begin moving in to take their positions, and the hooded lanterns move up. The gate is clear.
Oh.
The signal flare races out as the reinforcements move in to take the gate. And that is where we'll end for the night.
Woo!
We did it. Hard-fought battle, friends.
As long as Sten's son is alive, that's all that matters.
What's that goo down? No, I'm...
Sten, collect that goo.
Shepherd's Gate has been retaken, and now as you recuperate and as the hooded lanterns begin to move in to hold the position, next week we will see if you can take the barracks.
Wonderful.
We'll see.
Woo!
Alrighty.
That was great.
Yeah, as always, a big thank you to our amazing cast, Kelly, Jill, and Joe, for playing with us tonight.
And a huge thank you to Kyle for all of his work behind the scenes and keeping things real. And a very special thank you to our Dungeon Master, Monty Martin, for running a game. A great game, and also using some of the brand new battle maps that we got to actually play around with. So, it sucks that we're not in person, but it's cool that we got to see some of the stuff from our Kickstarter in use.
For those of you that backed our Kickstarter for Dungeons of Drakkenheim, you can get your copy of this map now. with the release of our digital map pack. You've got this map and all the interiors for this so you can go head on over, you follow up, log into your backer kit, download it. The full PDF is ready. Already starting to hear people's stories of their campaigns that they're running, so check that out. So if you haven't got it yet, check them all out. I think the map pack is originally, I realized this. Originally we said, when we were planning this project, we said to our publishers and the art team, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do like 25 maps," and I think we ended up giving closer to 60.
That's awesome. That's so awesome.
So great.
I mean,
yeah,
our original pitch to we got to do so much cool stuff. So yeah, I'm just really happy.
It was really amazing. Like I mean, there's still so many more maps that I would have loved to have done. But the fact that we got to do so many was just a testament to our amazing backers on that. So a huge thank you. And if you can still pre-order Drakkenheim if you missed out on the Kickstarter at Drakkenheim.com. Beyond that, as we wrap up to this evening, Joe, what are some of our other assets from?
Well, we do get a variety of incredible assets produced by some talented artists. Please continue to encourage you to support the Kickstarter and some of these other amazing creators. We use normally in our in-home games, in the live stream games, we use the Dwarven Forge train, but as you can see now, we use the battle maps. We use Roll20. We have some great character artwork produced by Elizabeth Perot. And some other ones by Jeremy Cole, and music by Tabletop Audio. So please, please, please. Is there anyone else I'm missing, Monty, that as part of the creators?
No, I think there's so many other amazing artists that have contributed to this. Josh O is our cartographer that tooled up all these.
Amazing.
Josh Orchard. So he's done amazing work on all that.
Right. And don't forget to look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes swag. So in our newest one, Shadows of Drakkenheim, has both a sweater, a t-shirt, and a poster. So check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Yeah, and our videos and live streams are also made possible thanks to the incredible generosity of our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the work that we do here on Twitch, YouTube, and elsewhere, supporting us through Patreon helps ensure that we continue to make amazing content online. So you can check us out at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes or by following the links below.
And if you do join our Patreon, you get exclusive access to our amazing Discord community. The Discord community has a lot of great benefits to it. You get to, first of all, hang out with all of us and chat with us about anything, not just D&D related, but we have channels in there where people talk to me about movies that we like or video games. But also we have rooms there where we talk about our Monster of the Week stuff, our dungeons, our regular Dungeon Dude episodes, and especially all of our amazing Drakkenheim content, including helping people kind of get into the Drakkenheim campaign and having a direct link to us, which is pretty cool. And we just get to chat about the Kickstarter, about the game, and about the story so far. You can even talk behind the screen with Monty without Jill, Joe, and myself being able to know all the delightful questions that you're asking. So a lot of cool stuff happening in the Discord. You can also join our monthly writers' rooms and help Monty and I plan new scripts for our regular show, as well as our monthly Q&As. The Patreon/Discord community gets first dibs on asking us questions for our monthly Q&As. So make sure to join us in Discord if you are joining our Patreon.
Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to tune in, check us out on YouTube as well at youtube.com/dungeon_dudes. And when's the next show, Kelly?
You can be sure to join us live next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You can check us out from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. And if you can't watch live, you can also check the show out on YouTube. It comes out every Friday after we play. And you can also check it out as an audio-only podcast as well.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time as we decide the fate of Drakkenheim.